Hello and welcome to the 49ers First and 10 podcast, 10 minutes of the most up-to-date 49ers news first thing in the morning. I'm your host, Brianna McDonald, and I'm joined by 49ers team reporter, Lindsay Pilares. The 49ers have just landed in Las Vegas and will start their joint practices with the Raiders tomorrow before their very first preseason game, which will take place on Sunday. And before the team made their way to Nevada, the 49ers did share a roster move update. They have signed running back Jeremy McNichols to a one-year deal. Throughout his 5-year NFL career, he has spent some time with San Francisco back in 2017, and he's also spent some time with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Indianapolis Colts, Jacksonville Jaguars, Tennessee Titans, Pittsburgh Steelers, Denver Broncos, and the Chicago Bears, but he finds himself as a Niner once again ahead of the 2023 preseason. In order to make room on the roster, the team waived running back Ronald Awatt. Now, Lindsay, the 49ers' last training camp practice in Santa Clara was closed to the public. So can you bring us up to speed on some of the highlights from the day?
Yes, so the 49ers held one last practice before wheels up to Vegas, and it was a very good practice for the defense. We saw a lot of big defensive plays, but we will get to that in just a second. Just some usual business here. All four of the 49ers quarterbacks were suited and in action for that Tuesday practice. And as we've seen throughout the course of camp, we saw Trey Lance take the first set of second team drills, and then he and Sam Darnold were doing their swap out of every team period during those 11-on-11 drills. Now let's talk about some of those big defensive plays. We saw Fred Warner shining in coverage as he usually does. No big change up there. He had a nice pass breakup that was intended for tight end Charlie Warner. Then we saw Charvarius Ward also pick up a PBU. He swatted away a pass for wide receiver Brandon Ayuk during 11-on-11 drills. And then rookie kicker Jake Moody, he and Zane Gonzalez have been swapping out and then kicking together on every third day. It was Jake Moody kicking on Tuesday, and happy to report 2 60-yard kicks went right through the uprights. So he is shaping up very well. But I would give the defensive play of the day to rookie safety Jair Brown. He actually picked off a pass during team drills along the left sideline, and that makes it 7 interceptions throughout the course of camp for that 49ers defense.
And now the team is set for joint practices, and pretty much every player has shared their excitement to go up against another team after they've been practicing against each other for weeks now. But shifting gears a little here, on Monday, the complete list of NFL Network's top 100 players of 2023 was unveiled. And Lindsay, you've been reporting on every 49ers player that's made the list. And NFL Network was creative in how they went about revealing the list and broke it up into sections leading up to the number one best player in the league. So, who were some of the first 49ers to make the list? And for those who don't know, how is the list created?
Yeah, so the list is now in its 13th year of being created, and it's a really great distinction because it's actual NFL players voting on their peers. So I think that creates just a little bit of a special aspect to this top 100 players list. And as you mentioned, the 49ers were very well represented. 8 total players made that top 100 list. And I guess I can just run through them in order because there are a lot of people. Nick Bosa actually came in ranking the highest. He is number 4 on the list, and he was actually part of a 2-hour special that capped off the entire 2-week series. But we also had All-Pro left tackle Trent Williams come in at number 14, All-Pro linebacker Fred Warner, number 15, Pro Bowl tight end George Kittle came in at number 19. Pro Bowl running back Christian McCaffrey came in at number 35. Then we had wide receiver Deebo Samuel lock down spot number 61. All-Pro safety Talanoa Hufanga was number 78. And linebacker Dre Greenlaw was the final 49er. He came in at number 79. So again, just a great accomplishment for the San Francisco 49ers, led the league in players on that top 100 list.
And let's talk a little bit about our top player on that list, Nick Bosa. If you look back to last year, he was ranked number 25 and he made a jump all the way to number 4. And it's pretty clear why. He became the NFL's Defensive Player of the Year. Talk a little bit about his grind to get to one of the top spots on the list.
Yeah, so I think 2022 was just a continuation of that Nick Bosa dominance. I mean, we saw him make a splash the second he got into the league, but he was really on one in 2022. Coming off a career best year, as you remember, he led the league in sacks with 18 and a half and recorded 51 total tackles. 19 of those tackles were for loss. He also had a pass defended, 2 forced fumbles. He also had 48 quarterback hits. And according to Pro Football Focus, he and Dallas Cowboys linebacker Micah Parsons tied in total pressures for 9 days. They led the league in that category. And on top of all of this, as you mentioned, he was the AP NFL Defensive Player of the Year. He was voted into the first team All Pro and also earned Pro Bowl honors. So just a tremendous season. And we are hoping for more of the same in 2023.
And our star linebacker duo on that defense also made top ranks on this list. We saw Fred Warner. Last year, he was ranked 47. He's jumped all the way up to 15. But Dre Greenlaw, I think it is the first time he's making this list. Tell me about how he's breaking into the scene of the NFL Top 100.
Yeah, when you think of the epitome of the 49ers defense and that physicality, you automatically jump to Fred Warner and Dre Greenlaw. And now that he's entering his 5th year, I think he's getting the recognition that he deserves. He was the second leading tackler on the 49ers last season, 127 total tackles behind, of course, his counterpart, Fred Warner. And he just is absolutely dominating. 6 quarterback pressures, a sack, 6 pass breakups, an interception, 2 forced fumbles, 2 fumble recoveries, a career best season for him. And, I think one of my favorite highlights from last year was a 23-yard scoop and score against the Miami Dolphins. But just so many highlight reel worthy plays from Dre Greenlaw, and hopefully more to come in this next season.
And while we're talking defense, safety Talanoa Hufanga last year was absolutely a career best season for him, and only his second season in the league, really. He made the Pro Bowl for the first time. He went all pro for the first time, and now he's on the NFL Top 100 list. How do you think he's feeling after his sophomore campaign?
One thing we know about Talanoa Hufanga is that he's an incredibly humble guy. And, we heard that from his first training camp press conference. He came in and was like, yes, I had a great year, but I want to continue building. And he's created a very strong foundation for himself in his sophomore season to continue building. Like you mentioned, it was an all-pro season for him. He was also voted into the Pro Bowl. But I'll go through his stat line. Absolutely impressive. 97 total tackles, 4 interceptions. He had a defensive touchdown, 9 passes defended, 2 forced fumbles. Just a great place to start for your 3rd season as you head into that 3rd season. And he's definitely just wanting to improve individually as a player so he can help the greater defensive unit, and just always a very, very humble guy. And he works in tandem with veteran Tashawn Gibson Sr. Those two are reunited in the defensive backfield and are very excited to be facing those opposing offenses in 2023.
Nice. And we have to give some love to our offense also. Left tackle Trent Williams, he cracked the top 15 of this list for 2 years in a row now. Tell me about his game. Do you think he's lining up or he's taking his foot off the gas for any time this upcoming season?
Absolutely not. Trent Williams, it was actually great. So there is a video component that is made for every person on this top 100s list. And his was one of my favorite to watch because there were offensive linemen, specifically tackles from all over the league, just commenting on Trent Williams' dominance throughout the years and specifically, obviously, in 2022. And you hear things like greatest to ever do it, best in the league, absolutely dominant. And I think that's really the only way to describe Trent Williams at that left tackle position. And his body of work throughout his career really shows that. 10 Pro Bowl selections, 2 first team All Pro honors, just absolutely that anchor for the 49ers defensive line. Last year, he allowed just 1 sack in his 17 starts on the way to the team's NFC Championship game appearance. He truly is at the top of his field and has earned that recognition from that top 100 honor.
Awesome. Well, it's so great to hear about how all the players' hard work going into the season is truly shown in this top 100 list. But that will do it for today. Be sure to look out for all of the 49ers joint practice content on 49ers.com. Thank you so much, Lindsay, for joining me in this update. Don't forget to follow First and 10 on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Be sure to turn on the notifications so you're in the know when we post any breaking news updates. And thank you, Faithful, for tuning in.